A normal aspect of human existence is involvement in assailing other individuals, groups, organizations, societies, etc. This can involve correlations with such factors as agendas, beliefs, concerns, desires, interests, needs, objectives, retaliation, seeking justice, fair treatment, tasks, temperament. The assailing can involve acts of war, boycotts, demonstrations, deprivation, disparaging, discrediting, isolation, organized work stoppage, strikes, picketing, protests. Sometimes non-combatants and other uninvolved parties are unintentionally targeted. In some occasions, they are intentionally targeted to have them pressure the adversaries or others being assailed. Often the assertions, grievances, etc. are accurate, justifiable, and should be addressed. However, at times, their tactics can be worse than the wrongs they are complaining about. At times, strategies used to achieve their demands involve victimizing innocent third parties. They can be oblivious or insensitive as to the effects their actions have on others. Worse, when victimizing innocent third parties is the focus of their strategy. Some of the tactics or effects include blocking vehicle traffic, blocking access to businesses, etc., preventing workers from performing tasks, creating hardships for clients of targeted businesses, users of government facilities, etc. This can include picketing, government shutdowns, etc. Sometimes the integral part of the strategy is getting the innocent third parties to complain to the targeted businesses, government agencies, etc. This, without regard to the sufferings and hardships endured by the third parties. Thus, the methodology can be sinister and cowardly. Often within certain groups, some of the participants are well-meaning but not adequately informed, are manipulated with inaccurate information and easily influenced, are narrowly focused and have a distorted perception of the realities, take advantage of the situation for their unrelated personal objectives, including greed and criminal activity, are part of a mob or vigilante mentality, void of fairness and not willing to allow due process, exhibit displaced aggression, are misguided, are overly biased, are disingenuous, are simply following the lead of their peers.
Example 1 of 3. Often during protests occurring in the streets, numerous participants do not have adequate knowledge of important facts related to the stated purposes of the protests. Some easily accept hearsay as being factual or aren't really concerned about the facts. Some take advantage of the situation for their own interests or agenda, including criminal activity. Some are well-meaning, well-informed, and act appropriately. Others are not truly in sync with reality and/or prudent behavior. Many consider it a good practice to block vehicle traffic on streets and highways. How are the motorists affected? It can run the gamut from the very positive to the most devastating. Some motorists are supportive of the demonstrators and have positive experience. However, it appears that for the vast majority, it is a very unwelcome ordeal. Can either directly or indirectly have negative consequences for many of those inhabited by the obstruction, and the effects can be extended to thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of people. It can lead to vehicle mechanical problems, people losing their jobs or even their businesses, health issues, including life-shortening stress, being unable to attend important family events, maybe not being able to visit a relative at a hospital before death, vehicle collisions in the backup that could even include injuries, Many possible types of missed opportunities, missed pleasure, missed positive interactions. Frustrated drivers taking it out on their families and others. Sometimes access to public transportation is blocked. Many of the users of public transportation are the most vulnerable. Also, at times, people are prevented from utilizing other valuable services. Yet those that perpetrate these acts consider their methods to be righteous. In actuality, such actions at times have been detestable. Although not always apparent, there is a correlation between some of these actions and vandalism, burning businesses, etc. Whether it's to get attention, displaced aggression, or other reasons, they can be attacks against innocent parties not directly involved in the dispute or actions. It could mean no justice, no peace, or something occurred that we consider to be unjust, so we are going to cause harm to a lot of innocent people in retaliation. Is that ethical, appropriate, courageous, admirable? Is it justice? Example 2 of 3. In 2008, California Proposition 8 was passed by the majority of voters. Many people were against same-sex marriage based on their traditional beliefs of the meaning of marriage. Also, religious beliefs were a significant factor. The proposition was officially on the ballot because it was considered to be legal and reasonable. Many people exercised their right to get involved in the voting process. They exercised their freedom to express one's opinion, some by simply voting, others by volunteering and or with financial contributions. Some of the people opposed to Proposition 8 investigated people that made contributions in favor of Prop 8. Then many others began to boycott businesses the contributors were involved in. The contributors of Prop 8 were often referred to as being haters. Yet many of those pursuing people that contributed to the Prop 8 cause and attempting to destroy their businesses were exhibiting the hate. Within the gay community and organizations such as LGBT, there have been numerous discussions regarding tolerance, civil rights, freedom of expression, love and respect for others. Their agendas have made great strides during the past 6 years. Proposition 8 was subsequently overturned. California and most other states allow same-sex marriage. Yet numerous people that oppose Prop 8 continue to boycott businesses if at least one prominent member made a contribution in favor of Prop 8. They continue to call them haters as they themselves display disdain. Some even continue to victimize them in other ways. Are they justified in categorizing all people that were against same-sex marriage as being haters? What about continued boycotts more than 6 years after Proposition 8 was on the ballot? Example 3 of 3. Labor unions that organize a work stoppage timed to adversely affect uninvolved parties to the maximum. This includes the moving of goods from the ports when timing is critical, even to the point of adversely affecting the economy. Halting public transportation that large numbers of riders desperately depend on in order to work. Services involving public safety and health. In numerous situations, it is the best interest of striking workers to either directly or indirectly impact customers of business they are in dispute with, wreaking havoc on innocent third parties, inflicting hardships and inconvenience can dramatically benefit their cause. Accordingly, many union officials and striking workers strive for maximum suffering among the innocent third parties. Many do not care how detrimental their actions are to people's lives, the economy, or even the country as a whole. This includes workers that receive better compensation than other workers in comparable positions, and including workers that provide essential services for people with limited incomes. People's lives have been devastated by certain work stoppages. Sometimes what the workers have to benefit has been greatly disproportional to the losses incurred by the innocent third parties. Yet some of these adversely affected by the strikers are supportive of their cause. This is understandable when the strikers are perceived as being treated unfairly by the businesses involved. It is also admirable that many are willing to sacrifice in order to assist the striking workers. But it may appear to be absurd to support strikers that are wholly unconcerned about how numerous others are adversely affected. Some would not even care if it ultimately caused deaths to individuals or a catastrophe for the country. Work slowdowns, stoppages, and strikes at the ports have damaged the nation's economy, adversely affecting untold millions of people. Businesses depending on the ports for shipments of goods have been used as pawns. The accumulated losses suffered by the businesses have been astounding. The total amount of losses far exceeds the increases in the workers have been demanding. The losses, inconveniences, and devastation to businesses, consumers, and the nation's economy do not concern those responsible. Entities with such callous mindsets do not deserve respect or consideration. Such reckless selfishness is unethical and loathsome. Individuals, businesses, and organizations engaged in such destructive behavior should be replaced. Some people consider them to be enemies of the society. It is commonplace for individuals to feel it is normal, justifiable, ethical, and logical to victimize innocent people. This for the purposes of fulfilling their personal needs or desires, expressing their dissatisfaction of social issues, retaliating for something done against them. Many appear to be either oblivious or unconcerned as to the hardships and sufferings they inflict upon others. Consider this example. Someone needs to drive to work in the morning hours. They find another car parked in a way that prevents them from driving away. Almost instinctively, some will repeatedly sound the horn in continuous bursts. They are unaware and are unconcerned about how they are adversely affecting others. Waking up, disturbing numerous other neighbors, waking children, people that are sick. They could be adversely affecting others even worse than they have been affected. Yet, within their limited being, with their perceptions, frame of reference, limited analysis, degree of ethics, and rationalizations, they are in the right. They may feel that the sufferings they inflict upon innocent third parties may just be minor inconveniences necessary to achieve their important objective. Others are so self-absorbed their thinking is even more limited. It can at times be compared to instinctive animalistic behavior void of conscience.